I'm the librarian at Cosumnes Oaks High School. My name is Mrs. Howe, and I want to introduce you to our amazing library and its staff. So this is the inside of our front entrance of our library, and we are a library that we share with Elizabeth Pinkerton Middle School, who also has an amazing librarian, Mrs. Nazimko, who works with me on a daily basis, and Ms. Johnson, who is her library tech. I'd also like to introduce you to our amazing library tech as well.
Hello, I'm Melanie. I'm the library tech for Cosumnes Oaks High School, and I love working here, and I love working with Maria.
Great. And we're excited to share more of our library with you as we move forward throughout the year. So this is my first year as a librarian at Cosumnes Oaks. I'm really excited to be here. I came from a middle school teaching 8th grade social science for 24 years. And so my background is in history. So moving into the library has just been an amazing experience. I'm here and so excited to share books with students and to share my love of reading with all and just enjoying being here. Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Howe and I'm the librarian here at Cosumnes Oaks High School. Welcome to the Cosumnes Oaks High School Elizabeth Pinkerton Middle School Library. This is an amazing library that serves grades 7 through 12 at both schools, and so I'm here today to give you a tour of our amazing library. So we're going to start here in the front lobby. Okay, so when you come in the front doors, we have a pretty large lobby here, and there's two things I want to point out about the lobby. One, if you ever need to return a book and the double doors are not unlocked, you can put books in this outside book return, and then the staff will check them in the next day. To the right of the main entrance, we have a little free library. And so this is a place where you can pick up any free books that you see. This was made and donated by Girl Scouts, and so it's here to provide you with some reading that you can take home. So as we enter the library, we have the entrance on the right, and then we have the exit on the left. Let's go ahead and go in. Before you enter the library, you do need to scan either your student ID card or your 5-star app on your phone. So what you'll do is you'll come to the Cosumnes Oaks side if you're a high school student, Elizabeth Pinkerton if you're a middle school student. But since this video is for COHS, please make sure you scan your ID card or phone to enter, and you'll just simply put your phone under this scanner right here. And then when on the screen it flashes with a green bar in your name, you know that you're good to go ahead and come into our amazing library. So our library is really wide and extensive. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give you an overview of the different areas. So this is our center atrium, and this is where we have all of our comfortable seating areas. It is a quiet zone, but you can get a sense of all of the different areas that are here. We also put book displays up and rotate those out on a regular basis so that you can see some books that we're highlighting in the library. Over here to the left is our circulation desk, and so I'm going to show you that now. So there's two sides to the circulation desk. So this is station 1, and we have some amazing displays behind the circulation desk, and they also rotate on a regular basis, so from season to season. And then if you come down to the right side of our Wolfpack Nation, we have another book drop inside the library, so you can return your library books here. And then if you need to check out books, there will be another person here, either one of our amazing library techs, Mrs. Nazimko, our Pinkerton librarian, or myself. Now, we always say here at COHS that we're going to read with the pack. And so in order for you to read with the pack, you need to be able to find some great books. So we're going to go ahead and start over in our fiction section. And so fiction actually wraps around the library. It starts on the back wall. Those very tall shelves back there, that's where the letter A begins. And fiction wraps all the way around. And you can see it keeps going. And then all of the shelves on the right side of the library, it's all fiction over here. Okay, and I'll just show you a small piece of it. So for example, here's the letter Z. And so remember, fiction is organized by last name. It's going to have an FIC on the book for fiction, and then the first 3 letters of the author's last name. Okay, so if you look, you can see that our first book there, it says FICZAB, and then we have FICZAD, and all the books again go in alphabetical order by author's last name for the entire section. And it's like that for all the letters. So for example, here's letter Y, so on and so forth. And so I'll show you some more of those fiction books as we go around the library. We also have what we call an everybody books section. And this is really cool. And it's also organized alphabetically by author last name. So we have some amazing picture books that all of our students can take a look at. And so for example, the 3 Billy Goats Gruff is something new in the library the students can take a look at. And then we also have our everybody book chapter books, and some of those are pretty popular. And then we also have our series. So for example, we have Captain Underpants here, and then we have our everybody books nonfiction. And then finally, these are our world language books, so books written in languages other than English that students can check out. Here's another comfortable seating area for students. The great thing about all these lamps is they have USB charging stations, and so you can charge your Chromebooks there on a regular basis. And again, another comfy seating area right here. We're a big believer in comfortable seating. Okay, so once we get into the middle of the fiction section, we also have our surprise. So this is our activity center. And students can do hands-on activities when they're here in the library. We're open before school every day, during both lunches and after school until 3:45. So we have puzzles, we have coloring table, we have magnetic tiles and Legos. People can check out board games and play those. Scrabble and Uno are pretty popular. Sometimes clubs meet in here, students that like to do activities, perhaps like puzzles, and the 500 and 1,000 piece puzzles are the most popular. We have blocks. And then over here is high top seating that students usually use for the different activities. We also have friendship bracelet making station and more comfortable seating. Oh, there's some more fiction books, and we'll keep moving around the library. Now, this is an amazing space back here. This is what we call our study Chromebook lab. And so students can use this quiet study area anytime that they want during the time the library is open. And so each individual station has its own lamp. And again, if you look at those lamps, there's chargers that's included in those lamps. And so as we continue around our fiction section, we have 2 classroom areas in the library. The first is over here in the fiction side. And this is the COHS, considered the library area. Tables of 4, enough seating for 36 students. If we ever need to use a projector and a screen, we use the one here in the Chromebook lab. Okay, and as we continue, we're going to move out of our fiction section and we'll move into the middle of the library again. And here in the middle section of the library is where we have our manga collection, our comic book collection, and we also have our test prep books collection. Okay, and so you can go ahead and see some of our most popular manga series are right here. And then if we move down further, here's where we have our comic books and our test prep materials. So you can see we have a wide variety of comic books. They're really popular. And a wide variety of test prep materials for SAT, PSAT, and AP tests. So now when you look inside the classroom area, this is the Elizabeth Pinkerton Middle School classroom area, and it also has 36 seats. There's also high top seating with chessboards so students can play chess. And behind all of that is our computer lab that is also used for classrooms. Okay, as we continue around the library, and we'll go to the front last, this is our nonfiction section. So we have the 900s, For history, 800s for literature. The 900 and 800 referred to the Dewey Decimal System, and that's how we organize the fiction section in the library. Now, we do not have a specific reference section in our library here. Instead, all of the books that would be considered reference materials are organized into our nonfiction section. So here's our 700s, our arts books. Our books that fall under the category of technology are on these two shelves. We have social sciences to the right side of this bookshelf, and we have languages and science, the 400s and 500s there. 200s, our religion section is on the left, and then general works and philosophy and psychology are on the right. Now, the next shelf over, this is where we keep all of our graphic novels. And graphic novels are very popular in our library. And they actually are on both the front and the back side of the shelf. And they are also organized in alphabetical order. Here's another study area. Sometimes it is used for chess as well. We also do sticker posters on occasion. And so students like to participate in that activity. What could it be? Add stickers to see. So as I was saying before, we don't have a reference collection that is separate, and the books have been put out into the regular collection. So here's a couple examples of that. So one, our Encyclopedia of Mythology is over here in section 200s, and so it's 201. UXL is the call number for that encyclopedia on mythology. If we continue and go down through our social sciences section, we also have other reference materials that are here. So for example, some reference materials titled Constitutional Amendments. Now, the final areas of books in our library is we have historical fiction, and it's separated from the other books. Find it here, historical fiction, and it's this entire shelf that you see. Oh, another seating area. And then on the left side of that shelf and down the center, we have our biographies, and we also have what we call our narrative nonfiction. So here's our narrative nonfiction, and then our biographies, organized by last name, the first three letters. Okay, so lastly, let's go back up to the front, to the circulation desk. So we're wrapping around the library. So how do you search for books? We'll talk about this in the future, but you would use a system that we have called Destiny. It's our library catalog, and you can use that to search for books. And so these computers will have the Destiny card catalog up so that you can search for any books you like. We have 8 computers in the front that you can use to print, and we do offer free printing in the library. And finally, we always have a craft that corresponds to a month that we're celebrating, and you can find the craft that students participate in here up front. And then when you're ready to exit for the day, you will go out the exit. Okay. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for being here for our library tour. We hope you enjoyed yourselves, and I really hope to see you in our library soon. Hi everyone. In this section of the video, we're going to learn about the different available print and electronic resources that you have here at the library at Cosumnes Oaks High School. So let's begin by talking about the different print resources available in our library. We have a variety of different books that you can check out and peruse. So we have a variety of books available in a variety of different genres that you might find interesting and be willing to check out. We have so many different types of books in our library. We have over 20,000 books in our collection at Cosumnes Oaks High School. So some of the most popular books are our manga collection and our graphic novel collection. We have a variety of fiction, including dystopian books like Scythe by Neal Shusterman, which is the most popular book in our library right now. We have fantasy novels, we have romance, we have historical fiction, thrillers, and horror books. Stephen King is really popular in our library. We have mystery books, and then we have a variety of nonfiction, including biographies and what we call narrative nonfiction, which are memoirs, such as Educated by Tara Westover. So Destiny is our library management system, our catalog that you can use to search for different print materials in our library. You can access it on either our library website or in your EGUSD portal. And what you see here is the classic Destiny search, where you can search by keyword, by title, by author, or by subject. So Destiny Discover is another version of our catalog that you can use to search for books in our library. This is the search that we have up on our library computers, and students really like it because it's very visual. What I love about Destiny Discover is it shows all the recently added books that we have at the top of the screen. So Plants vs. Zombies and a variety of picture books were just added to our collection, so you can see those there. If it has a green in symbol, the book's ready to check out. If it has an out symbol, it's not available. We also have books organized by genre. So for example, if you click on dystopian and open that collection, it'll show you a variety of dystopian novels that we have available in our library that you can check out. To learn more about how to search for a book through Destiny, check out our search tips that are posted on our library website that you see here. Another feature of Destiny Discover is that you can see what our current most popular titles are in the library. So here's the top 10 currently as of today. So Scythe by Neal Shusterman is our #1 checked out book. We have 5 copies available in the library, and we just can't keep them on the shelves. We have 4 manga titles in our top 10. And then To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. Her books are really popular in our library. We currently have 2 copies out of 5 on the shelf, but this is really the first day that they've been back. So if you want to read her books, check them out super quick. So now let's look at some of the electronic resources available in our Cosumnes Oaks High School Elizabeth Pinkerton Middle School Library, and you would access these through your EGUSD portal. To access your portal, go to portal.egusd.net, and the ClassLink portal page for Elk Grove Unified School District will pop up. Click the button that says Sign In with EGUSD account, and you'll enter your student ID number at egusd.net for your username and the password that you've created as your password. Once you are in your portal, click on the Library Resources folder. Once you've opened this folder, you'll find a variety of different apps that will link you to the electronic databases that are available to you. So the first online resource you have access to is Britannica School, also known as Encyclopedia Britannica. When you click on this app, you can find a variety of different ways to search for information that give you really good basic background on different topics. So in Britannica, you can search for articles on a variety of topics, and I recommend using Britannica if you're trying to build background on a topic before you start researching it. Additionally, you can search for images and videos that relate to the topic that you are researching. So for example, if you want to learn more about the anatomy of the eye, if you were to type that into the search bar, you would have a variety of different diagrams of the eye that would show up in your search results and videos of how the structure of the eye works. And so there's a lot of different information you can find that way. Finally, Britannica has a variety of biographies that you can research to look for information about individuals that you might need to gain more knowledge about. Next, you as a student, you have access to an academic search database called ProQuest Central Student. If you click on the Central Student app in your library resources folder, that will take you to this amazing resource that will connect you with thousands and thousands of different research resources that are out there. So ProQuest Central Student is a database that is used throughout high schools and colleges in the United States. It's an academic database that gives you access to a variety of sources and content in biological sciences, environmental science, social science, technology, education, and more. This database will connect you to articles from academic journals, government documents, encyclopedia articles, ebooks, so that you can access thousands of different resources that you might use within your research process. Next, if you click on the EBSCO Search app in your Library Resources folder, this will link you up to the EBSCO database, which our district has chosen to fund access to all students. There's a variety of different resources available through EBSCO, but the most popular is probably Explora Secondary Schools, which opens an academic research database very similar to ProQuest Central Student. You also have access to more specific databases within EBSCO, such as the Biography Reference Source, the History Reference Source, and the Science Reference Source. What's great about these is that if you're searching for sources within a specific subtopic, you can find those. So for example, if you clicked on History Reference Source, you could find groups of resources that relate to each other, such as women's studies. If you click on the women's studies collection, a variety of resources will appear in your search results. Finally, EBSCO has some other resources, such as Novelist and English Language Learner for students. Through your portal, you also have access to the Gale STEM databases for science, technology, and engineering. Those include Gale in Context Environmental Science, Gale Interactive Science, and National Geographic Kids. So as an example, Gale Interactive Science allows you to search within a variety of science disciplines, such as biology, earth science, and chemistry, as you see here, to find more specific resources on topics that fall within those disciplines. So finally, you also have access to SURS Discoverer, which categorizes research resources in a variety of different topics that are easy to use. So what I love about SURS is that it has trending topics and editor's picks. For example, artificial intelligence or AI is a really prevalent topic right now. There's a lot of research coming out about it, a lot of articles. So you could click on that particular section and a variety of different resources will pop up in your search results. So now that you've learned more about the different print resources, books, and electronic resources that you have available in your library here at Cosumnes Oaks, if you have any questions on how to locate any books or use any of the online resources, talk to me. I'm Mrs. Howe, your librarian, and I look forward to meeting you and helping you this year. Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Howe, your librarian here at Cosumnes Oaks High School. And the purpose of this video is to show you what resources are available to you on our library website here at COHS. To access our website, go to our homepage for the high school, cohs.egusd.net, and under General Info, you will find the link to our library website. So here's our homepage. And at the beginning of our homepage at the top, you can see we have some images of our library. The hours that we are open, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3:45 p.m., except Wednesdays, which is late start, where we open at 9 a.m. When you scroll down, you have the mission of our library. Here's our goals for our library, and we want to encourage a lifelong love of reading. We want to support you to become independent learners and meet the needs of our campus. On the homepage, we also have important links that would be helpful for students. First is the link to the EGUSD ClassLink portal, which is where you access all of the different resources and apps available to you. We have a link to our library catalog. It's called Destiny, and this is where you would search for different books that you are looking for in the library. And then just a different way to search, a different interface of Destiny, it's called Destiny Discover. Additionally, on the homepage, we want to hear from you. What books would you like to see in our library? So if you go to this button right here and click on our library book wish list, it'll take you to a Google form where you can show us or tell us what books you want to see in our library. And then our staff. So again, I'm Mrs. Howe. I'm your teacher librarian here at COHS. Here's my email. And then Mrs. H, who is our library technician, here is her email that you can find. Okay, so across the top, first link we have is library services. So when we click on the library services link, It tells you all of the different resources in our library that are available to you. So for example, you can print assignments for free. Otherwise, it's 10 cents per page if it's for personal use. We have academic computer use. We have an activity center. There's tutoring on occasion. We do print the ID cards for new students in the library, or if you'd like to buy your own ID card for $5, pay at the Pack Shack, come to the library, we will make it for you. As you scroll down, again, there's more information about ID cards. And then there's some subcategories under library services. We have information about library accounts. So you can check what's on your library account on Destiny at any point. Here are the directions of how to do so through the EGUSD portal. And it's really important to pay attention to your library account and know when your items are due, because any overdue items, missing items, and fines puts a student at our school on the no privileges list. If you're not sure how to navigate how to find your library account, here's a tutorial that you can click on to do so. Now we have information about textbooks. So this is information about how to check out textbooks, the care of textbooks, and how to return textbooks. So that's just general information that you can find there. You click under the subcategories, we have a section on textbook care, if duplicate textbooks are needed, and frequently asked questions about textbooks. Finally, in this section, we have another link to our Destiny Library catalog, and again, how you can search the catalog for a book and how you can check your library account. And there's also a video to show you how to look up books in Destiny Discover. Secondly, we have a link on library expectations. It's really important to me that our library feel comfortable, safe, and welcoming for all students and staff. So please respect the following library expectations that are listed here. Now, if you're interested in coming to the library during Pause Wednesday, just see me or Mrs. H for a Pause 5-star pass before that time, and you're welcome to come into the library during that study period. Technology support. So this is the place on campus that you come to if you need help or assistance with Chromebooks. We have Tech Services Hour. They are before school or during both lunches. We can help with broken Chromebooks. However, if you have password issues, you'll want to contact the help desk at EGUSD. You can find the phone number here, and more information about Chromebook tips, login, resources, proper use, what to do if you need help, and then information about how you can support and contact the help desk. Okay. Also, we have the EGUSD Chromebook agreement. What's really important to know is that this Chromebook, we are entrusting you with its care. So thank you for not removing cases, not putting stickers on your Chromebooks, and just make sure that you are responsible with your Chromebook. And again, if you have issues, come to the library. Finally, we have a couple of sections on research resources, information about how you can access electronic databases to help you in the research process. You go to your EGUSD portal, you'll click on a folder called Library Resources that looks like what you see here. And here's where you can see all the various electronic databases to best suit your needs. Some of these are provided for free. The school district also provides access to what's called EBSCO, and that is an academic research database, as well as ProQuest Central Student that you can find here. We have a page that introduces you to our library staff, how you can contact us, and then we like to share our favorite books with you and the books that we're currently reading. And then we have Mrs. H down here, her favorite books and what she is currently reading. Finally, there's a link to the Sacramento Public Library and different resources that are available to you. Everyone living in Sacramento County can get a free public library card. If you click on this link, you'll be able to apply for one. You can access ebooks, digital collections, other ways to research, and so that's an excellent resource for you. And so then if you go back to the homepage, you'll find all of our general information. If you have any questions, just contact me in the library. I'm Mrs. Howe, your librarian. Hello, this video is to teach you how to use the Destiny Library Card Catalog here at Cosumnes Oaks High School. So there are multiple ways that you can access Destiny. If you go to our Cosumnes Oaks High School Library website, you can find links on the middle of the homepage. The first is to the EGUSD ClassLink portal. When you click on the portal, that will take you to your apps once you log in, and there's an app that says Follett Destiny. If you click on that app, it will take you to the Destiny Classic Library Catalog, and that is the second link that you see here. This is the direct link to the COHS EPMS Destiny Classic Library Catalog. It's a classic way to search for library books and materials, and we will look at that in just a moment. Finally, if you're looking for a more visual, friendly way to search the library catalog, we also have what's called Destiny Discover. And this catalog also covers the library for COHS and EPMS. So I'm going to show you, first off, Classic Destiny, and this is what it looks like. So if you're logged into Classic Destiny, you can actually log in, and just super quick tip, you can look at your library account. And if you click on it, the My Info tab in the upper left hand corner, it will show you what library materials you have checked out, so those would be your library books, and it will show you what textbooks you have checked out. The title of the book is in the middle, and then also on the left side you can see the due dates. So for example, this student, COHS Wolfpack, has Dissenter on the Bench, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's Life and Work checked out. They checked it out on October 7th, which is over here on the right, and it's due on October 28th. The replacement cost is also listed, and then you can see the due dates for the textbooks as well. Now, if there's a due date in red, it means the book is overdue and should be returned as quickly as possible. Okay, so let's go back to the library catalog. So to search for a book in the library, you can either search by what's called keyword. So it's a good way of using keyword is if you have a specific interest and you're looking for a book that includes that specific interest. You also have title. You can search for the title of the book if you know which book exactly you're looking for. If there's an author that you love and perhaps you're looking for a book that by that author that maybe you haven't read before, you can type in the name of the author. And so let's start with keywords. So let's say that you're really looking for a book about sports. So if you type sports into the find bar and click keyword, a number of books and resources that we have in our library that relate to sports will come up in your search. So we actually have 424 different titles that relate to sports. So if you scroll down, you can see that we have sports technology. So here's a book on sports technology. It was written by Linda Bruce. And when you are locating a book, you want to make sure you know the title of the book, the author of the book, and the call number of the book. The call number is the location. So that's what you would want to write down to be able to find where the book is in our library. So this is a nonfiction book, so it has a Dewey Decimal Number. In this case, it's 688.7, and then the first three letters of the author's last name, BRU, for Linda Bruce. So in our library, you would want to go to the nonfiction section to locate this book. Now, how do you know if the book's available? If you go to the right-hand side of Destiny, it says that we have 1 of 1 available. So there's 1 copy in the library, and that copy is in and ready to check out. So that's how you do a keyword search. Now, what if you're looking for a title? So, for example, a very popular title in our library is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. So I'm going to type in the title of that book, and I want to see if it's available. So again, we have the title, the author, and the call number, which is the location. You'll want to write those down. In this case, The Summer I Turned Pretty is a fiction book. So fiction books always have the letters FIC in front of the first 3 letters of the author's last name. So you would go to the fiction section and then HAN for Han. We have 2 copies available in our library. 1 of 2 are available. Lastly, you can search by author. So a popular author in our library is Neal Shusterman. And we have a number of Neal Shusterman's books. And so I'm going to type in his name, click on author, and then many different books by this author appear in your search results. So you can scroll down and perhaps find a book that you haven't had a chance to read. The most popular book that is checked in and out of our library is Scythe. We have 5 copies and 1 is currently available for checkout. The location is FICHSU. And then we have the author's name, Neal Shusterman, and the book Scythe. And there's a number of books in that series that you can check out. Now, if you don't want to use the classic search, you can use what's called Destiny Discover. I love this because it's very visual and you can see the covers of the books. It's also very easy to see if the book is available. It has a green symbol that says in or a red symbol that says out if the book has already checked out and not available to you. At the top, you can see all of the recently added books. We added a number of picture books to our Everybody Books collection, and so you can see many of those here. You can also browse books by topic. So what if you're looking for a new graphic novel to check out? You can click on the BAM symbol for graphic novels, and a number of possibilities will pop up. And then finally, we have popular titles that are frequently checked out in our library that you can see. Okay, and then we also have collections. So for example, right here we have books for spooky season, books that we think you would enjoy in October during the spooky season. If you were to click on that, you could see a number of books. Now, the one thing you should know about Destiny Discover is that it frequently freezes or does not load. So you're welcome to try it. Take it with a grain of salt. We'll just try it right now by clicking on romance and see if our books pop up. Sometimes they do, in this case they do. And so here's a number of books that relate to romance if you're looking for that particular type of book, and you can scroll down and even see, look, sometimes it starts spinning as you're scrolling. So for example, The First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera, that book is checked out. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green is checked in. And so that is just a couple of ways that you can search the Destiny catalog for our library. Hello. Let's talk about some effective strategies when you are searching electronically or online. So we'll begin by talking about how to effectively search a website. So here's some tips to think about before searching websites and while you're conducting your search. So the first one is you really need to think before you search. What information are you looking for? It's really important to be specific in the keywords that you use to search and decide what search engine you want to use. The most popular is usually Google, and you'll use that search engine to search the internet to find the information needed. Most people start with a keyword search. That's where you choose keywords or a phrase that relate to the information you're seeking. You want to make sure you put your keyword or phrase in quotation marks. That's going to help you find the exact wording in your results. Make sure to keep it simple and use the least amount of terms possible. It's very helpful to look for websites that come from specific domains that may have the information that you are seeking, such as a government website .gov, an educational website .edu, or a commercial website .com. You can use the words and, or not to either broaden or narrow your search. Next, here are some quick tips of how to effectively search electronic databases. And at Cosumnes Oaks High School, you have access to a variety of these, including EBSCO, ProQuest Central Student, Britannica, and Gale Interactive Science. So when you are searching electronic databases such as EBSCO and ProQuest Central Student, it's really helpful to begin by using a keyword search. So choose keywords that relate to your research topic or question, and keywords should always be nouns. Make sure you put these keywords into the search field of the database that you are using, and that is a good place to start. So in order to broaden your search, like let's say you want even more different options to pop up in your search results, you want to use the word or. So if you use the word or in the search field, that will expand the amount of the results that appear in your search. So for example, if we were looking for information about social media or mental health, by using the word or, we're going to have a lot more options appear to us in the search results than if we did not use the word or. You'll likely have a higher number of resources appear. Now, what if you want to narrow down the search results? You have too many, there's thousands, you're feeling overwhelmed. So decide if you want to limit your research to a specific time frame or not, meaning do you want only articles published in the last year, the last 5 years? And now instead of using the word or, use the word and that will limit the results that appear in your search. So for example, you might say social media and mental health, meaning you will only receive research materials that address both of those issues. So you'll likely have more specific resources that appear in your search results if you use the word "and." So these were just a few quick tips that you can use in order to search websites effectively and search electronic databases effectively. What's really important to know is make sure you laterally read your information when you are searching websites. Make sure that you are not finding misinformation, and just always double check your resources and cite your sources correctly. Thank you. Hello, the purpose of this tutorial is to show you how to use one of our electronic database resources that we have here at Cosumnes Oaks High School. It's called EBSCOsearch. So if you go to your EGUSD portal and click on the folder Library Resources, you can see all of the different databases that are in front of you on the screen. And many of these are available, or they are all available to you, but many of them are utilized for research. So I'm going to show you EBSCOsearch today. So you go ahead and click on EBSCOhost, that link, and it's going to go ahead and open a new window. And there's a variety of different databases that are part of EBSCO. For example, the Biography Reference Source, but today we're going to look at Explora Secondary Schools. So let's go ahead and click on Explora Secondary Schools. All right, and so on this particular page, this is where you would start your research process. For example, before you start your research, you want to consider your research question and determine what keywords you can pull out of your research question. So for example, for today, we're going to use the term social media and mental health for part of our search. Now, anytime you are searching for information, you're going to type that information in the box title, "What are you looking for?" If you have the box full text highlighted, it means only articles and entries and books that provide the full amount of information will pop up. You can choose only peer-reviewed articles and results. You can also choose to limit your results by the publishing date. Was it published in the last year, the past 5 years, or the past 10? We're going to leave it at all time. You can also, if you're interested, explore topics that already have a variety of resources available. So for example, if you were to click on health, a variety of resources would pop up all about health. But today we're going to type in social media and start with that. Okay, so when your search is complete, we have 622,223 results sorted in order of relevance. We have articles and journals, ebooks, reference materials, and videos that relate. Right now we are only pulling up results with full text. It's anything published at all times. And then we have the source type is a variety. So I'm really interested in looking at articles and journals. So I'm going to go ahead and filter by clicking on articles and journals. And here's the topic, Overview Social Media. It's an encyclopedia article, a reference material. But I'm going to scroll down and find this particular article. It says social media and this article, social media and adolescent health. That was published in the American Journal of Public Health, October 2024. So it's very recent, just published not too long ago. So if you click on that article, you can see there's different access options. You can either download a PDF of the article or pull up the full text online. Here's the download button to do that. You can see that we have the title, the authors, the source. The abstract gives you a quick summary of what it's about, and then we also have the word count of the article. Now, some great features about the EBSCO databases is that it gives you the citations for each of the different resources that you utilize. You do have to double check them to make sure they're correct, and you want to make sure you select the correct style. The style that's most frequently used at our high school is MLA 9th edition. So if you change the style, click copy to clipboard, there is your works, your citation that gives credit to the author of the article that you're using in your research. You can also export the citation if you're using a citation generator such as Noodle Tools, and it will go straight to that, or is EasyBib, or whatever it is that you choose. Okay, Other features is you can share the article. Again, you can download, and then you can also save it for later. So let's say we want to broaden our search. So let's now type social media or mental health. And that means we're going to have even more results because we're giving options about the two topics that are going to come up. Now I'm going to go back to all results. And now I have over 1 million different results that comes up in my search. So I'm going to choose videos and see if any videos might be relating to social media and mental health. Oh, here's a video about Demi Lovato raising mental health awareness. Okay, now what if we want to limit our search? Instead of using the word or, we would use the word and. We're looking for articles and resources that address both issues. So for example, this time I'll go back to articles and journals. And here's an article that says, I'm out, stars leave social media for their mental health. Okay, you can notice there's less results that came up when we use the word and, only 9,645. And so when you're using EBSCO, there's a variety of different ways to do so, a variety of different references and research materials that you can utilize. You have videos, reference materials, books, articles, and journals. The citation features are really helpful. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Hi everyone, we're here today to talk about understanding copyright and plagiarism, what they are, how to avoid it, and the impact of them. So we call this ethical use. First, let's begin by talking about copyrights, what they are, what is protected by copyright, rights granted by copyright, and how it can be infringed. So let's begin by talking about what copyrights are. So a copyright legally protects the original work of a creator. And according to Lanning, original work can be defined as any literary, dramatic, musical, artistic, and certain other intellectual works. Copyright exists to make sure that other people's creative work is not duplicated or used incorrectly. So I really love this word cloud about copyright, and you can see the words that really stand out are intellectual property and patents. Patents are a form of copyright that protect inventions. We also have other words that relate to copyright, such as a concept, which is an idea, trademarks, legal, and law, to let you know that these are legal protections. And then also you can see all of the different smaller words that are part of the word cloud, such as internet, that tells you that digital materials can be copyrighted. You have technology, you have designs, you have ideas, you have websites, and all of these different aspects can be protected by copyrights. So what are some examples of what is protected by copyright? So as we talked about before, literary materials or written materials are protected, such as books that are published by authors or journal articles. Any dramatic creations, such as theatrical movies, television shows, and short videos can be protected by copyright. So for example, that film you're really enjoying on Netflix, we can't repost that film because it is copyrighted. Music by your favorite artists and musical lyrics are definitely copyrighted. So for all you Swifties out there, we can't use and perform her music without her permission because it's protected by copyright. And finally, art, photographs, and interestingly enough, digital images, which we'll talk about in a bit, are all protected by copyright as well. As I stated before, there's a wide variety of materials that are protected by copyright. But what rights are actually granted by this? Let's talk about that next. So copyrights protect creators' work, but a creator can give permission to anyone to legally use their creative work. So for example, at a performance, an artist can say, yes, you can absolutely perform my song. You can have permission to display or share one's work or even to copy their work. But remember, the key word here is permission. If you don't have permission to legally use these created works, you are violating copyright, and that's known as copyright infringement. So copyright infringement. Infringe means to actively break the terms of either an agreement or a law, to make an unauthorized copy of something. So if you're using a creator's work without their permission, you're infringing on copyright. And our school district, Elk Grove Unified, has board policies in place regarding copyrights and plagiarism. And we'll talk about plagiarism in a bit. And so please remember, don't infringe on copyright. Remember, a creator has taken the time to put their effort into their work, so we want to respect their work by not using it illegally or without permission. And just remember, there can be legal consequences for copyright infringement. So next, let's talk about what fair use is and why it's important. So what is fair use? So fair use means that people have limited rights to use copyrighted material in certain situations and certain settings. So if the work is used for school or research, it may be permitted to be used under fair use. And so the 4 factors of fair use, which we'll talk about in a moment, must apply in these situations. So we must consider the 4 factors of fair use in using copyright material. So the first one is, why are you using this material in the first place? Is it for school purposes? Number 2, are the ideas being used, are they mainly factual in nature? Facts cannot be copyrighted. Number 3, what amount of the work are you actually using? 10% is a guide, but that's not necessarily the exact percent you should count on. And then number 4, does your use of the copyrighted material affect its monetary value? So for example, are you using the copyrighted material in a way where the creator might lose money as a result? So any creative work published before 1923 in the United States are in what's considered the public domain. And any material in the public domain is not protected by copyright, so it can be freely used. There's various rules about any creative work published after 1923 and whether or not it is copyrighted. So for example, the 1928 version of Mickey Mouse from the cartoon Steamboat Willie, that entered the public domain in 2024. So for some copyrighted works, it's just copyrighted for a period of time. Next, let's discuss plagiarism. So the first thing to remember is that plagiarism is not illegal, but it is unethical. This is when a person steals ideas from or words written by others and they present them as their own. So for example, if you were to take paragraphs out of a textbook and put it in your paper, you're presenting it as your own and therefore it's plagiarism. So there are many possibilities in which a person could plagiarize. So as I stated before, if a person copies a large amount of text from a book, a textbook, any online material, that's plagiarism. Even just changing a few words in a sentence and stating that writing is your own work is plagiarism. If you were to borrow an assignment, quote unquote, from a friend and turn it in as your own, that is definitely plagiarism. Also, something that we may not always think about. If you copy images or information from a source without citing it, giving credit to the author or the person that created the image, that's plagiarism. And in general, failing to cite your sources properly is plagiarism. So again, as stated before, plagiarism is not illegal, but there are definitely consequences for choosing to plagiarize work, and these can build. So for example, a student might earn a 0 on an assignment. It is possible to fail a class, or even could be an academic jeopardy, especially if you are in college. There are colleges that may remove you from classes or even the university if you plagiarize. So it's really important to think before you write and complete your assignments. So first off, in your writing, if you use any exact words or sentences from a source, make sure you always put quotation marks around the words and cite that information as it is a quote. If you paraphrase, that's when you put the information into your own words. That would not be plagiarism, but it's really important to always do so. Finally, if you are summarizing, make sure you describe the content of the entire information source in your own words and cite it properly. So next, a really important step to make sure that you don't plagiarize is to cite your sources properly. So why do we cite our sources? It's to give proper credit to a creator for their own personal work that we might be using in written form or in creating a visual or audio presentation. It tells your reader or your viewer where you located the information you are presenting, and it also just demonstrates what we call academic integrity and ethical use. It's just the right thing to do. If a person takes the time to create work, we need to give credit to the effort that they put in. So when citing your sources, there's a number of different resources out there that you can use. The most common way that students cite their sources is by using MLA, which is the Modern Language Association style of citations. So there's a reference manual for that. It's the MLA handbook. And then also in college, you might cite in what's called APA, and there's the APA publication manual. Online, there's a wonderful reference site by Purdue University. It's called Purdue OWL. And then also, if you're using electronic databases, the articles provide citations for you that you can utilize when you are creating your works cited or reference page. So online, there are also wonderful resources to help you generate your citations. Some of the citation generator websites that are available that students might use are Scribr and Noodle Tools, but also your Google Docs application has Google Citations built into it. Now, citation generators are wonderful resources, but they could possibly create incorrect citations. So you always want to make sure you check for errors and correct them. The most common errors tend to be with capitalization of words and punctuation. So in summary, it's really important, just do the right thing. Make sure you respect the work of creators by following copyright laws. Please avoid plagiarism by giving credit to the sources that you use in your academic work. And again, if you need help or assistance or have questions, you can reach out to me. I'm your librarian. You can reach out to your teachers, and we are to help you be successful in your work. Your library is here to help you with anything that you might need. If you need assistance, here is what you should do. If you need help with accessing our library resources, when in doubt, ask Mrs. Howe, your librarian, or our awesome library technician, Mrs. H. You can either speak with Mrs. Howe, your librarian, or Mrs. H, your library technician in person, or if you prefer to email, send an email to Mrs. Howe, your librarian, through either Synergy or email her directly at mahowe@egust.net. We hope to see you in our library. See you soon!